Here's the G-Shock GAV01-9A, and I have to show it to you with my lights shining on it, because if I don't show it to you at that angle, you can't see the negative display. That's how bad the negative display is. But we'll be reviewing this today on Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one.
It's time for fun with watches with your friend, the Watchdog. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. It's time for fun with watches.
Let's start off the wrist check. I'm wearing my other G-Shock, my GD350. And Greg was wearing two watches. He has the Islander ISL 155, and he also has the Wish Do It 9012. And the Wish Do It is an homage to the Islander. And so they look very similar, don't they? Gregor said he is still watching the new show on Disney Plus called Jedi Joe, a real Aldoranian hero, and his favorite character is the mysterious Jedi ninja named Snoke Eyes. I said, how can a Jedi be a ninja? Gregor said he drives a Kawasaki speeder bike. Alright, let's get the watch out of the box. Box is just your basic G-Shock box. And I wanted to show you the hang tag, because here's the price, $155. So it is not a cheap watch by any means. Oops, have it upside down. This is a watch where it's kind of hard to tell which is right side up. This is the third G-Shock on my channel, although I have owned a GD350 since before I started my channel. I don't do a lot of G-Shocks as Casio isn't exactly sending me watches, and thus I have to buy them, which means I usually have to sell them. And who is going to give me anywhere near what I paid for? This GAV01 doesn't give me that dilemma, as I bought it with my channel's AliExpress commission, and this watch is too fun not to keep. This watch has been out for a good 7 months, and I am late to the party because every time I have considered ordering it, they have been out of the green colorway. And if I'm going to get a watch nicknamed the Alien Eyes, I want it to be green. This watch has the worst negative display I've ever seen, and I'm the one who has reviewed countless ultra-affordable AliExpress watches. This poor display necessitates frequent use of the backlight, which isn't really a backlight and is instead an external light that shines on the dial. This watch comes in 7 different colorways. If you want to be noticed but don't like the green, you can also have purple, which was also usually sold out when I looked before. If you'd rather play it a little safer, there are also black and gray colorways. Then just last month, they added pink, white, and gold. This watch is a big boy. It measures 58 millimeters if you measure from ear to ear, and 54 millimeters if you don't measure the ears. It's 51 millimeters lug to lug if you count these little screws here as the lugs. And it's a whopping 19.3 millimeters thick if you count these little crystal guards. Lug width does not apply. As you can see, there really is no lugs to measure, but the strap itself is a 22. And it weighs 74 grams on the supplied resin strap. So, here we go. We don't really have a, well, we do have a bezel kind of, so, but then again, this bezel has all these little crystal protectors here, and it gives it a really unique look. Then we have the dial itself. It says G-Shock Casio up top, water resistance 20 bars on the bottom, because that's standard G-Shock water resistance is the 200 meters. And then you have the Alien Eyes, and this is your digital display, and it's negative. And like I said in the montage, this is possibly the worst negative display I've ever seen. You can barely read it. You have to hold it at just the right angle to be able to see it. And I can't avoid showing you my overhead lights, because that seems to be the only angle where you can actually read the display. And we just have the time and the seconds. Hit this pusher, then you get the date, or the day of the week, I should say. And then hit it again, then you have the month and the day. Then back to time. Then we do have a light. And as you can see, though, the light really isn't a backlight. It's a light right here that shines on the dial. And you'll be using this light quite a bit since the negative display is so hard to read. And then on the left here, we have the modes. So you just toggle through the modes here. Right now I'm on standard time mode. Then you hit it again, then you're on world time mode. And right now I have it set to UTC time, but you can set all the different airport codes all out throughout the world. Then you hit it again, and then you're in stopwatch mode. Hit it again, you're at countdown mode. Hit it again, you're in alarm mode, and then it's back to time. And I won't show you how to use everything. It's pretty much standard. And this does have a daylight savings flag to it too, so, and you can set it to 24-hour mode, but you have to do it when you're setting it. There's no toggle for it. And oh yeah, this will tell you what your time zone is. And right now we're in Chicago because I live in the central time zone. Then we have the analog hands, and they are synchronized with your standard time, not your world time. And we do have a white tip on the minute hand. Then the crystal is acrylic, not sapphire or anything like that, but it's fine. It's going to be hard to scratch this crystal because of these crystal guards here. It really keeps it protected, and if you do scratch it, you can buff it out with some poly watch. Then we have the case itself, and it's all one piece, as you can see. Well, it's split right here, but so I guess it's two pieces, but there's no separate strap. So if you ever break this strap, you're kind of out of luck. So you can't change the strap on this at all. And it's like I said, it's really thick. Then we have the case back. It's held on by 4 tiny screws. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can read it a little bit better. Then right here it tells you what the different pushers do. Then on a Casio, whenever you see a number surrounded by a box, that's the movement. And it says we do have a 10-year battery, so that's nice. Then it looks like it was made in Thailand. And then we have the strap itself. Like I said, it's all part of the case, all one piece. And we do have the buckle with 2 prongs, and then we only have 1 keeper, and it's floating. I'm happy with just 1 keeper. Sometimes 2 keepers is just really a pain, and I end up taking one of the keepers off if I'm going to keep the watch, so don't have to do that with this one. I did notice that the coloring of the keeper seems to be a little bit off, a little bit darker in the buckle too, but I guess that's fine, no big deal. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's huge. It's a big watch. And I got 4 notches left, so I went ahead and gave this the Joe Haynes seal of approval, which is good because you're not going to put this on another strap. So if your wrist is bigger than 8.5, you're just going to have to give this watch a pass because there's really nothing you can do about it. But even though it's a huge watch, it contours to the wrist nicely. So I think even if your wrist is smaller than mine, you can still wear this thing just because of the contour. It's very comfortable. It doesn't feel like a 19mm thick watch. Here we are in the Lume room. Even though this watch has a backlight, there's a tiny bit of Lume in the tips of the hands, so we might as well test it. As we speed up the time, we see a tiny bit of green Lume at the tips of the hands, with the hour hand being much stronger than the minute hand, But even the stronger hour hand tip is so small, don't expect to count on this lume and expect to use the light instead. There's no sense going into total darkness to show you the light, so here it is with the lights dimmed. As I mentioned in the montage, this isn't really a backlight and is instead an external light on the corner of the dial that shines on the dial. This doesn't give one the best image of the negative digital display, but at least it makes the barely illumined hands readable. What I like about this watch, it's fun. It's a conversation piece. You will get noticed wearing this watch. And even though this watch is huge, it does contour nicely to the wrist. And so it's rather comfortable despite its huge size. What are my gripes and groans? This is the most unreadable negative display I've ever seen. And that includes sub $10 AliExpress watches. The watch is a monster in size. It's probably the biggest watch I've ever reviewed. And this backlight really isn't a backlight. It's really just a light that shines on the dial. And if this strap ever breaks, there's nothing you can do about it because it's all part of the watch. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, as long as you want a big, bold, in your face monstrosity and don't really care about the number one feature of a watch, which is time telling. But if you want something that's going to be good for telling the time, you might want to give this one a pass. Well, thank you for watching my review of the G-Shock GAV01-9A, and I'll be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, I'll put a link in to Casio. I do not have an affiliate with them, and if you tell them you saw it on Fun with Watches, they probably don't care. So don't even bother. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my new channel, Fun with Watches Shorts. I need 500 subscribers before I can monetize it. And I'd like to thank my Members Choice members. Last time I looked, there was 12 of you, and I have the Members Choice watch, and I will be reviewing it soon. And members get a week-long head start on the review. Bye.